The stars shone brightly over the distant planet, but the wind carried a strange, sharp sound that made Lyra shiver. She tightened her grip on the controls of her small prototype ship, her heart racing. She had trained for this moment for years, yet nothing could have prepared her for what awaited. Lyra's mission was simple in words but impossible in reality. She was sent to test humanity's newest ship, a design so advanced that aliens from nearby systems would laugh at it. She had heard their whispers over long-range signals, mocking the tiny, weak humans and their fragile machines. Yet she had not let it scare her. Humanity had always surprised others, and today would be no different. The surface of the planet stretched endlessly, jagged rocks and deep valleys creating shadows that seemed alive. Lyra's ship hovered just above the ground, scanning for signs of life. Suddenly, the sky shimmered, and alien ships appeared. Their sleek forms moved quickly, almost like they were hunting. Their laughter, sharp and strange, echoed through her communicator. Humans are weak, their machines are toys. They sneered, and Lyra clenched her teeth, refusing to show fear. She tried to take off, her engines humming, but the aliens were faster. They fired strange energy beams that hit her ship. Sparks flew as systems failed. Her controls flickered wildly, and a cold fear crept into her heart. She could feel the ship tilting, falling toward the rocky surface below. Lyra's mind raced. This can't be the end. Not like this, she whispered. The ship crashed with a deafening roar, dust and smoke filling the air. Lyra tumbled out, her body aching. She lay on the ground, looking up at the alien ships circling above. Their lights glowed red, and she could see them pointing and laughing. Pathetic human, one of them shouted. Her vision blurred as pain shot through her body. Her mission seemed over, her hope gone. Yet something inside her refused to give up. Lyra struggled to her knees, using the rocks as support. She thought of her home, of the humans who had worked for years to build this ship. She thought of her family, who believed in her, and of the promise she had made to herself, that humans would never be weak, no matter what others said. She tried to crawl toward a small cave nearby, hoping to hide. Her breaths came in sharp gasps, but the aliens continued their mocking laughter. Her hands scraped against the rough rocks, but she did not stop. Each movement was painful, each step a battle against her own fear. She could feel the weight of the aliens' gaze, waiting for her to fail. And then, for a moment, the world seemed to pause. Lyra closed her eyes, expecting the final strike. Her mind raced through memories, missions she had trained for, lessons she had learned. This is it, she thought, ready to accept her fate. But just as the aliens' weapons were about to strike, a shadow moved across the rocks, faster than anything she had seen. A figure appeared, strong and confident, blocking the alien fire. Lyra's eyes opened wide in shock. She could not believe what she saw. A human, a real human, standing between her and certain death. The alien laughter faltered, confusion flashing across their strange faces. Lyra's heart jumped. Could this be possible? Could a human really appear here, in the middle of enemy territory, to save her? She felt a spark of hope she had not felt since the mission began. The human held out a hand, and Lyra knew, in that moment, that survival was possible, that maybe, just maybe, humanity was stronger than anyone ever believed. And for the first time since the mission began, Lyra dared to hope. Lyra's heart pounded as she stared at the human who had appeared like a miracle. His presence alone seemed to stop the aliens for a moment. Their red eyes flickered with confusion, and their weapons wavered. But Lyra knew she could not just stand there. The aliens were too many, and she was too weak. Her body ached from the crash, her clothes torn and dusty. She struggled to move, dragging herself behind a jagged rock. Her fingers scraped against sharp stones. But she refused to stop. Every second mattered. Every breath could be her last. The human moved with speed and confidence, his hand firing strange pulses of light at the alien scouts. Each pulse struck true, sending them tumbling back. Lyra's eyes widened in disbelief. Humans could fight here? Humans could survive here. She had never imagined it, and yet, here he was, saving her from almost certain death. "Stay behind me," he shouted, his voice calm but firm. "I'll get you out of this." Lyra nodded weakly, trying to push herself up. I can't keep up," she gasped, her body trembling. He reached out, gripping her arm, pulling her to her feet. His strength was amazing, but his eyes held something more, a fierce determination that made her feel safe. The aliens began to regroup, larger ships descending from the sky. Their laughter returned, louder and more threatening than before. "You cannot escape, human," one of them hissed. "We will finish what we started." Lyra swallowed hard, fear clawing at her chest. She had never faced so many enemies at once. The human led her toward a narrow canyon, the shadows offering some cover. "We have to move fast," he said, scanning the alien ships above. "They'll follow us." Lyra's legs shook as she ran, each step sending pain through her body. but she kept going, driven by a mix of fear and hope. They ducked behind rocks and boulders, the aliens firing strange energy beams that exploded nearby. "We need a plan," Lyra said, trying to catch her breath. Her mind raced, searching for anything that could help them survive. "We'll make one," the human replied. "But first, we survive this moment." As they moved, Lyra saw signs of the planet's danger. Deep crevices, shifting rocks, and strange glowing plants that emitted a faint heat. Every step was a risk, every movement a potential trap. The aliens seemed to anticipate their moves, as if the planet itself was working against them. Suddenly, a massive alien scout appeared from above, blocking their path. Its eyes glowed like fire, and its claws reached toward them. Lyra froze, but the human stepped forward without hesitation, firing his weapon with precise timing. The alien recoiled, hissing, giving them a brief moment to move. Lyra gasped, her fear and awe mixing together. How can you do this?" she asked, struggling to keep up. He didn't answer, his focus entirely on the path ahead. Each step, each dodge, each counterattack seemed perfectly timed, as if he had been born to survive in this dangerous place. But the aliens were relentless, and Lyra knew that even with him, they could not last forever. They needed a real escape, something clever, something the aliens would not expect. Her mind raced, thinking of her ship, of the technology, of what humans could do when pushed to the limit. And just as the canyon narrowed to a dead end, Lyra felt a spark of hope. She looked at the human beside her, realizing that survival was no longer just about strength, but about intelligence, courage, and the unyielding spirit of humanity. The aliens were coming, fast and deadly. But for the first time, Lyra felt that maybe, just maybe, she and this human could fight their way out. The real test had only just begun. Lyra's legs burned with pain, but she kept moving, guided by the human beside her. His presence was a shield, and yet she wondered, how could a single human fight so bravely against so many aliens? She had been taught that humans were clever, but this was something else. The narrow canyon forced them to move carefully, every step echoing against the rocky walls. The aliens followed, their laughter sharp and mocking. "You cannot escape us, weak humans," one hissed. The human glanced back, a calm confidence in his eyes. "They are wrong," he said. "We are stronger than they know." Lyra's curiosity grew. "Who are you? How can you fight like this?" she asked, her voice shaking from fear and exhaustion. "No time," he replied. "Focus on surviving. I will handle the rest." Yet she noticed the small glimmers of kindness in his eyes, a promise that he would not let her die. Suddenly, a small group of aliens blocked the path ahead, their glowing weapons raised, ready to strike. Lyra froze, but the human acted immediately, firing his weapon with precise accuracy. The aliens fell back, stunned and confused, giving Lyra just enough time to move forward. She stumbled, nearly falling into a deep crevice, but the human grabbed her arm, pulling her to safety. "Hold on," he shouted, and for the first time, Lyra felt a strange warmth, a sense of trust and hope. This human was not just a fighter, he was a protector, and somehow, that made her feel alive again. As they continued, Lyra began to notice his tactics, the way he moved, how he anticipated alien attacks. She realized he was more than strong. He was smart, resourceful, and fearless. He led them through hidden paths, using shadows and rocks to hide from the aliens. Every step was calculated, every move strategic. She had never seen such skill. They reached a small plateau overlooking the alien base, and Lyra gasped. The ships were massive, far more than she had imagined. How could anyone defeat them? The human looked at her. "We don't have to fight them all. We only need to survive, to outsmart them," she nodded, understanding that this was not just about strength, but about clever thinking. Suddenly, an alien scout noticed them, its glowing eyes locking onto their position. It screamed, alerting the rest. Lyra's heart raced. The human grabbed her hand, pulling her down behind a rock. His calm voice broke through her fear. "We will make it. Trust me." Lyra's eyes met his, and in that moment, she felt something she had not felt in hours. Hope, real hope. The alien scout approached cautiously, moving slowly to check the terrain. Lyra held her breath, waiting for the attack, but the human had a plan. He threw a small device that emitted a bright light and loud noise, confusing the alien. It turned sharply, looking around in panic, giving them a chance to escape. They ran down a hidden path, leading to a small underground cave. Lyra could barely believe they had survived. Her chest heaved as she leaned against the cave wall, watching the human check the entrance for any signs of pursuit. "We're safe, for now," he said, his voice steady. She nodded, grateful beyond words. For the first time, Lyra truly understood what it meant to rely on another human. how courage, intelligence, and determination could overcome even the most terrifying odds. She looked at him, awe and gratitude filling her heart. I thought we were done, she whispered. I thought humanity would fail. The human smiled faintly. We never fail, he said, not if we fight smart. Outside, the alien ships circled, unaware of the clever humans hiding in the cave. Lyra realized that this was only the beginning, that with strategy, courage, and human ingenuity, they could face any challenge. She felt a spark of determination ignite inside her. The aliens may have mocked them, but they had underestimated humanity. And in that dark, hidden cave, Lyra knew one thing for certain. Humans could survive, even against impossible odds, and perhaps even save the day. Lyra and the human crouched in the cave, their breaths heavy, hearts pounding. The alien ships continued to circle above, their glowing lights scanning the terrain. Every second felt like a lifetime, every noise made them tense. We need a plan, Lyra said, her voice trembling but determined. She looked at her rescuer, hoping he had an idea. We do, he replied calmly. We can't fight them head-on. Too many, too strong. But we can outsmart them, Lyra nodded, realizing that this was exactly what humanity was best at. Thinking, adapting, surviving. The human pointed to the map of the alien base that Lyra's ship had recorded before the crash. See here, he said, tracing a path through hidden tunnels and rocky cliffs. If we lure them here, we can create a trap. They'll think it's an easy hunt, but we'll turn it around. Lyra felt a spark of hope, her heart raced with excitement and fear. As they moved, Lyra noticed how clever the human really was. He set small decoys, strange lights, and noise devices along the path. Each step they took was calculated. Each move meant to confuse the aliens. Lyra realized that courage alone was not enough. They needed brains, strategy, and timing. The aliens began to notice their disappearance, their laughter turning to frustration. Red beams of light cut through the rocks as they searched for the humans. Lyra's hands shook, but she followed his lead, hiding behind rocks and moving silently. Each moment was a dangerous gamble. Finally, they reached a narrow valley, the perfect spot for the trap. The human whispered, "Now we wait." "They'll come." Lyra crouched behind a boulder, watching, her chest tight with anticipation. Soon, the alien scouts appeared, scanning the ground, their confidence evident. They thought they had the humans cornered. The human triggered the devices, bright flashes and loud sounds confusing the aliens. They stumbled, trying to find the source, and in that moment, Lyra realized the beauty of human ingenuity. A tiny spark of hope, a clever idea, could outmatch brute strength. She felt a rush of pride for her species. As more aliens arrived, the trap worked perfectly. Rocks fell from above, narrow ledges collapsed, and energy pulses sent them tumbling back. Lyra held her breath, watching as the impossible unfolded. Humans were turning the tables, one clever move at a time. Even when one alien tried to rush them, the human moved with lightning speed, grabbing a weapon and disabling it with precise accuracy. Lyra couldn't help but feel amazed. This was more than survival. This was a statement, a proof that humans could face any odds and win. Finally, the valley was clear, and the aliens retreated, stunned and confused, their confidence shaken. They began to regroup far away, giving the humans a precious moment. Lyra let out a shaky breath, her body trembling from exhaustion and relief. "We did it," she whispered, almost in disbelief. The human nodded, but his eyes remained alert. "This is just the beginning," he said. "We've shown them humans are not easy prey, but we have to keep moving." Lyra's heart swelled with a new feeling, determination, and pride. She had doubted humanity before, thinking them weak compared to advanced alien civilizations. But now, she saw the truth. Humans were strong, not just in body, but in mind and spirit. Their courage, intelligence, and unity could turn any situation around. As they moved away from the valley, Lyra glanced at the human beside her, realizing that this journey was teaching her more than survival. It was teaching her about the true power of humanity. The aliens had mocked them, left them to die, but humans had outsmarted them, and the fight was far from over. And in that moment, Lyra knew something important. Humans were not just survivors, they were fighters, strategists, and maybe, just maybe, the most dangerous force the aliens had ever faced. Lyra and the human ran through the narrow passages, their muscles aching, hearts pounding, but their minds focused. The alien forces had regrouped, but they were confused, unsure how to deal with humans who seemed impossible to catch. "Stay close," the human said, leading her to a small plateau overlooking the alien command center. Lyra's eyes widened. The center was massive, glowing with strange lights, and guarded by dozens of alien soldiers. "We can't fight all of them," she whispered, fear creeping back into her voice. No, he replied calmly. We don't need to. We only need to strike smart. He pointed to the base's power source, a glowing crystal-like core at the center. If we disable this, their ships will lose power. Then they'll have to retreat. Lyra nodded, realizing this was their chance, their turning point. They moved carefully, using every shadow and crevice to hide. The alien guards scanned the area, but the humans were clever, moving silently, using their knowledge of the terrain to avoid detection. Lyra could hardly believe how precise their plan was. She felt awe and trust growing stronger with every step. Finally, they reached the core, a massive crystal emitting energy pulses. We have to destroy it, the human whispered, placing small devices around it. Lyra helped, her hands shaking with fear and excitement. She could hear distant alien shouts, but they remained calm, focused, determined. The devices activated, sending a series of pulses into the crystal, which began to crack and glow even brighter. The alien guards rushed toward them, realizing the humans were attacking the core. But the humans were ready, using clever traps and quick movements. They dodged and countered, turning the aliens' strength against them. A massive explosion shook the base as the core shattered, sending waves of energy through the alien structures. Ships faltered in the sky, energy shields failed, and the aliens screamed in confusion and panic. Lyra shielded her eyes from the bright light, feeling a rush of adrenaline and triumph. When the dust settled, the alien forces had retreated, their confidence shattered, their mocking laughter gone, replaced by fear and disbelief. Lyra looked at the human beside her, her heart swelling with gratitude and pride. We did it, she whispered, a smile breaking across her face. The human nodded, his eyes still alert. This is just the start, he said. Humans have shown them who we are. They thought we were weak, but we are strong, clever, and unstoppable when we fight together. Lyra felt a surge of hope and determination. She realized that humanity's true strength lay not in advanced weapons, but in courage, intelligence, and unity. As they left the alien base behind, Lyra took one last look at the planet, now quiet and still. Her mission had begun as a test of technology, but it had become a testament to the power of humans. They had survived, outsmarted, and triumphed against impossible odds. She turned to the human, a new respect in her eyes. I thought we were weak, she admitted. I thought the aliens were too powerful, he smiled faintly. They underestimated us, he said, and that's their mistake, Lyra nodded, understanding that this was more than survival. This was proof that humans could face any challenge and emerge victorious. And in that moment, Lyra knew something incredible. Humans were not just survivors. They were heroes, strategists, fighters, and a force that no one could easily defeat. The aliens had mocked them, left them to die, but humans had proven themselves, stronger and smarter than anyone had imagined. As they prepared to leave the planet, Lyra felt a spark of excitement for the future. A future where humans would not only survive but thrive, and perhaps, someday, the entire galaxy would learn to respect them. The stars shone brightly above, and Lyra smiled, ready for whatever came next. Humanity had triumphed, and this was only the beginning.